Okay, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Mr. Dan. Today we're going to be making us a nifty little recipe I seen back a couple of years back with I was cooking with Daddy Jack, Jack Chaplin. He was a chef. I noticed I say was. He did pass away a couple of years ago, but he was pretty good. Anyway, he made this one recipe. I made it before, but I made it with breadcrumbs. This time I'm making it with pork rinds, ground pork rinds, to make it more keto friendly and carnivore friendly. My main thing is carnivore. I put a little hot pepper in there, so that's why I called it a ketovore. Anyway, these are pretty easy to make. They're pretty tasty. So what I'm going to do is show you how to make them. This is called a poor man's chicken fried steak. And I've already started it, so without further ado, let's get to it because it's pretty easy. I'm going to make a nice cream sauce to go with it. Okay, so here I've got a pan. I turned it on medium high just for right now to get it started to heat up. Here I've got some heavy cream. I've got a little bit of cream cheese I'm going to use, and I've got some provolone to make my sauce. These are what the burgers look like. Chicken fried steak, as it were. Here I've got some spicy breadcrumbs that I put. This is where I put the hot paprika spice in there, and I mixed it into the pork rinds. Okay, so I've already got a burger sitting. I'm going to show you how it goes, and I got some plain ones here and some egg here. So without further ado, let's hit it. Okay, as you can see, my pan is pretty hot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some pork fat in here, or bacon fat, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to put a little bit in there. Let it melt down a little bit. And that's what we're going to fry our chicken fried steak, the poor man's chicken fried steak. This recipe, he said originally that he got it from was down in Texas, I think it was, but they called it the Mexican man's pork steak, and they stuffed it with jalapenos and a bunch of other stuff. But because I'm trying to stick with the carnivore diet, I'm just making these kind of plain. So that's hot. Now, I made these burgers this morning, and then I put them in the refrigerator for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I stuck them in the freezer for about almost an hour. So we'll let these start to cooking and turn this fire up a little bit. Okay, so now let's get back over here. And while those are cooking, I've got my station over here. I got a dredge station started up here, so let me finish this one. And it's basically nothing but, breading up the hamburger. And that's why they call it a cheap man's, poor man's chicken fried steak. Is made out of hamburger. But the same principle would apply if you was making it with steak or whatever. Okay, and that's what makes this the carnivore thing, is no breadcrumbs, just strict pork rinds. Okay, so now I'm going to get another burger. As you can see, I did shake these with a ring, so they're all pretty much the same. They weighed out at about 4.5 ounces a piece, because Penny and I are going to have these for dinner. This just changes it up a little bit for the dinner menu. So, okay, and you just get a little bit of that crumb on top here. You don't have to, for the first coat, you don't have to get much, just enough. It helps the egg to stick, just like if you was going to breadcrumb it or flour it. Okay, then we're going to stick it into the egg, and again, not go crazy, but just get enough egg on there. Just let me slide these edges around. Try to get the whole thing coated so it coats good. You get a nice coating on there. And then after we cook these, I'm going to take them and pop them in the oven while I'm making the gravy. And all that's going to do is just give us a little bit more, make sure it's cooking, but I mean, make sure it's cooked, so it gives us time to keep them warm and make the gravy at the same time, see? So when we go to serve them up, everything's nice and hot. You don't have to spice these breadcrumbs. You can put whatever you want, garlic, salt, and pepper. I put salt in the meat before I cooked it, and before I mixed it. And now I'm just patting this down, and then get this one, get around the edges, and just pat those crumbs in there. Make sure you get enough crumb on the edge. Push down, push, push. Flip it over, and there you have it. Another one ready to go. Then we'll take this here, and we're going to put this in the breadcrumbs here. The breadcrumbs. Here I go with that again, huh? Pork rinds. Same difference. Your crumb mix, okay? How about that? We'll just call it a crumb mix. And I love the smell of these. These are just outstanding. Okay, now we'll take this, put this in the egg, flip it over. And I got a total of 5 out of there. You don't have to make them this thick or this heavy, whatever you want to call it. I just did because that's what Penny and I are going to eat today. Matter of fact, that's all we're going to eat for dinner. And like I said, this just changes up the meal. It gives it a little bit more flavor, but it's all in the carnivore menu. We'll take this hamburger out, put it in the crumb, rinse my finger a little bit. And again, same thing. Take your crumbs, get them up on top. I'll just get this over here. Give you guys a better view. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just getting the crumbs packed on there good. Gotta get ready to flip those over. And I'm going to use the same pan that I had them in the freezer to put them in the oven. And here you go. We got a third one, right? Let's leave that sit there till the other ones are done. I'm going to give these a flip real quick, see where we're at, and then I will probably let these finish cooking and we'll come back. And here you are, right there. Oh. So we're going to take this, tap your fingers. So hey, look at that, nice crust, just like you want it. Whew, that's slickery and hotty. Okay, so let me finish cooking these up. Well, like I said, once these are cooked up, I'm going to put them in the oven to keep them warm and make sure they're cooked. But while that's in the oven, then we're going to make the gravy. Real simple. It's more of a Alfredo sauce, maybe. I don't know. It's going to be good. So give me a couple minutes and we'll be back. Okay, guys, my last one. Total of 5 I did. So let's see. If you make these thinner, don't make them thick. You'll get 6 or more. So I used about 1.25 pounds, okay, of ground beef. Okay, so I let this sit a little bit on the rack here to cool it down, let some dripping off there. Now I'm waiting for the oven to heat up, and off we go to the races. So let's slide back over here, and I'll show you what I have here. I'm going to use some, we had some leftover. Wait a minute, let me put this in the oven real quick. I got the oven basically at 350 maybe. Then we'll just make sure that they cook through. And as soon as we're done making the gravy, they're going to come out because they're pretty much done. At any rate, here I have some, this is some leftover slow cooker roast beef that we did. Ended up being more like a pulled roast beef. Nice and tender. It came out really, really good. And as you can see, I've left some of the meat in there, and that's going to make a nice texture for the gravy. So I'm letting this simmer down a little bit before we add anything else. Some of the tallow of the fat from the meat was on top of this. I didn't skim it off. It's in there. It melted down. So I'm going to bring this up. Let me cook this down a couple minutes and we'll be right back. I basically put that leftover beef juice and a little bit of beef in there for some added flavor. So I'm going to throw in a little chunk of homemade butter just to give it a little richness and a little more flavor. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't made your own butter, you ought to give it a shot because this stuff it's 10 times better than the store. This is just plain butter. I have other butter in there, spicy and garlic I made. Penny loves the garlic butter. But neither here nor there. So now, what we're going to do is melt this down a little bit. This is the only thing I didn't have out at room temperature long enough. I just took it out of the refrigerator a little before I started. Ideally, you'd want this to be down to where it's real soft so it dissolves quick. Or it melts in quick. Take your pick. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dump in another chunk of, this is all I had left of that cream cheese, so I'm going to use it. Use whatever you got. You know, it helps to clean out the refrigerator, but you can also add flavor, a little richness, a little thickener to your gravy. So in it goes. Now, if you don't like cream cheese, don't put it in there. Every time I think of cream cheese, I think of bagels. Yeah. All right, that's good enough. I had to get that cream cheese thing all over my fingers. I had to get it off. And you notice this is still kind of reducing, so kind of what we're looking for. As you can see, this already is starting to thicken, but we're not done yet. And this is all good for carnivore, ketovore, anybody's vor. You know, you just don't want to go overboard with this stuff. And you know, I'm making a decent amount now, but that's going to cover five of my little poor man's chicken fried steak there. And notice how nice and thick it's getting already, see? Okay, so now we're going to add in some cream. I might have took out too much today when I poured this, but we'll see. The reason I poured that much because I want to make sure that I have enough. Now this you want to pretty much keep an eye on. You don't want to walk away and let it set because you'll scorch the, if it's too hot, you'll scorch the heavy cream. Anyway, give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back once this comes up to temp. Okay, so I turned the heat down. As you can see, it's still bubbling a little bit, but now I'm going to put in a little bit of this provolone cheese. I'm going to put a couple slices in. Right now, it's almost a perfect mixture. I'll show you what I got on the back of my spoon, my nappe. Some people call it a frappe. It's not a frappe. Anyway, take your finger and you look at that. That spoon is going in the sink. I'm going to lower this a little bit more now. Old Fido showed up. She's right here waiting for something to drop. She can smell this. This would make an excellent Alfredo sauce here. Put one more piece of cheese in there, and I think we're going to call it done. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And that's basically your carnivore cream sauce. You can get away with this for carnivore, trust me. Now, if you're going to eat the lion diet, or like I like to call it, the coyote or gray wolf diet, because they only eat meat too. So, but anyway, if you're on that, you're just going to eat meat, strictly meat and water, with a little bit of salt. And then I see these guys now that's all I eat. Then I see them putting things in a dehydrator, trying to make some chips for them to munch on. They say you're not supposed to eat no munchies, but then now you hear them, oh, I make these when I get a little munchy, just that way I eat the beef. That's a good idea, but just saying, this is the same thing. I'm using everything, all the ingredients they say you can have on a carnivore diet, animal-based, cream, eggs, cheese, hard cheese. This ain't the hardest cheese in the world, but it works. I could put Pecorino Romano that you got to grate, but I don't feel like grating. I'll be there all day. Okay, so I think we're done with this. We put a little salt and pepper here first, and then we'll go to taste it. Lower this a little bit more. You just want to keep it low once you make it. And this is the Redmond salt, by the way. I love this stuff. I don't know where it's been hiding all my life, but hey, I'm glad I found you. Anyhow, this is it right here. I'm going to put a little pepper in here right quick. Penny's going to come out and go, what the hell did you do with all the spoons? Oh my goodness, guys. Put a little brown pepper in there, and a little black pepper in there. The flavor of the juice I put in from last night's meal, that's also coming through like gangbusters. That pepper came out a little more than I wanted, but sun, women, oil, whatever happens, happens. I gotta eat it. So let me just stir this up, get my burgers out the oven, and we'll be ready to chow down. Wow, doesn't that look good? You gotta admit, it really does, guys. This is the perfect gravy for if you was making really any kind of chicken. You could do fried chicken. This would be good on top of that. But the chicken fried steak, poor man's chicken fried steak, it's all good. Let me give this one more taste. Another spoon if you please. All right. Whoa. Hey, Pen. What? Come here. Hold on, guys. Okay, guys, pop that out of the oven. Let me let this cool down just a tad, and I'm going to transfer it to a plate with some gravy, and we're chowing. Okay, ladies and germs, now for the time of telling what the deal is. And voila, we got us some nice little gravy here. Look at that, huh? And you can see some of that meat from the other recipe I did. But isn't that something? Look at that thing. That's gorgeous. All right, let me pop this up a tad bit, and then we'll meet you at the taste test table momentito. Okay, guys, here we are at the taste test table. Almost already jumped in. The dog just left. And he said it looked good. She didn't taste it. Takes a little of my juice. Very, very good. Take me a little slice. Look at that. Perfect hamburger. Hot. Well, if that don't beat the band. Give you guys a little bird's eye view of it. See? The cream sauce is just that. It's a nice creamy sauce. Got a nice flavor, especially since I put that salt and pepper in there. The texture and flavor of the meat from last night. So, excuse me, just to show you guys, you don't need flour and everything else to make a nice little cream sauce, or you can use any kind of sauce out of this. But everything is nice. It's just like it should be. The burger's staying together. The sauce is delicious. So now I know what this poor guy's eating tonight. Whammo, one of those, maybe two. So anyway, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't yet. And when you do, a little notification bell pop up, you hit that, that'll notify you each and every time we come up with another video. There's an arrow down button, you hit that, drop down box will come down. That'll give you a link to Cooking with Dan Facebook page, a link to my daughter's artwork site page, and a complete list of the ingredients we use to make this wonderful, wonderful dish. So you can follow along with the recipe, all right? At any rate, stay here, my friends, and when you are, come back, we will give you another delicious, delicious carnivore dish just like this. This is Mr. Dan saying stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you on the next video, and thanks for watching. We're out for now.